Okay, so I don't have this one all scripted out and stuff, but I had a thought, and I just got to make the video about it. Betas are killing our hobby. And I never realized it till today. So, you know, I've probably already ruffled a few feathers saying betas are killing our hobby, but let's think about it. First time fish keeper goes into a big box pet store, and they ask, what's the easiest fish to keep? I'm a beginner. And the little girl that works in the pet store, she goes, well, the betas are easy. Okay, well, show me this beta thing. So the pet store employee takes the new wannabe fish keeper over to the beta section, and the betas are all in little cups. So there's where our first problem with the betas come, is the fish are in the cups, they're not getting the water changes like they need, they're not at the temperature that they need, and all that, so they're not in the most healthy condition that they could be for a beginner. A lot of the fish aren't, you know, they might have parasites, they might have illnesses, they aren't at the peak of their health and stuff. Secondly, you have the new fish keeper seeing the betas in the little cups. The pet store employee tells the new fish keeper asks the pet store employee, is it okay for them to just be in the little cups? And the pet store employee says, oh yeah, they're fine. They don't need a heater or filter or nothing. In the wild, they come from little like mud puddles and rice paddies and stuff over in Asia. And you know, they're fine, they're real hardy. And the new wannabe fish keeper doesn't know any better, and says, well, okay, well, they are real pretty. I'll get one. And you know, since they don't need a heater and a filter, I'm not going to get a heater and a filter. And since they come from the rice paddies and mud puddles and stuff, I'll get a small tank, a little 1 gallon tank. You know, that's fine. That's bigger than the cup he's in. So here we have a beta without the filter, which really the betas do need the filters, not necessarily for the breathing, but to help keep your water clean, because beginner fish keepers, as much as I love the beginner fish keepers, aren't always the best at keeping up with the water parameters. They aren't always the best at doing the water changes the right way and when they should and everything. So betas should have filters, because the pet store employee more than likely has not, well, in addition to all this, the pet store employee has most likely not sold them any live plants to help with cleaning the water either. And being that they're a new fish keeper, they're getting the fish, they're getting their 1 gallon tank, they're getting whatever chemicals the pet store employee might tell them to get, and the food and all of that for their beta. So betas are really pretty, so they pick out the prettiest beta there, a nice long flowing tail, veil-tailed male beta. Let's call him Cupcake. So they take Cupcake home and put him in his 1 gallon of water, and in a couple of days they decide Cupcake's lonely. Cupcake needs a friend. So they go back to the pet store 2 days after getting Cupcake into his 1 gallon tank with no filter, no heater, and feeding him every time they walk by the tank, because Cupcake's always hungry. And they go to the pet store to get Cupcake a friend. And they're going by the tanks and stuff like that. Like, we've kept him alive a couple of days, you know, we're doing good. Cupcake needs a friend, so they ask the pet store employee, a different person this time, um, I've got a fish tank at home, and I need some fish that'll get along with each other. And the pet store employee says, oh, that whole section over there, they're all community fish. They would be good with anybody. Okay. So the new fish tank owner, Cupcake's owner, goes over the community section and gets the pet store employee and says, I want one of those and one of those and one of these guys down here and that one there. And the pet store employee says, okay. Dips them all out, bags them up, and sells them, Molly, Neon Tetra, Common Pleco, and I don't know, a big guppy. So they take all the Cupcake's friends back and dump them into the 1-gallon tank with Cupcake. And the next day, the guppy's dead, and the Neon isn't acting so well. So they're upset that, a couple of the fish aren't doing good. But they keep going, sometimes fish die. And, by the end of the next week, they've lost the Neon and what did I say, the Molly. They've lost those, and they're upset because now it's Cupcake and the algae eater. And Cupcake's not moving a whole lot. I think he's sad. He's sad that his friends died. We need to get him some new friends. So they go back to the pet store and buy a couple more fish, one of this and one of that again, and put them in Cupcake's little tank there, a little 1-gallon tank. And overnight, the 2 new fish are hiding a lot, and one of them looks like he's kind of tore up. His fins are kind of ripped and stuff like that. And they're upset that they're not doing so good. So a few more days go by, and those 2 fish die also. And they're back down to just the algae eater and Cupcake. And Cupcake's water's kind of white, so they need to change the water or something. I guess that's what the pet store person told. So they take Cupcake and the Pleco, the algae eater, and put them in a little cereal bowl and dump all the water out of the 1-gallon tank and scrub everything down real good because it's dirty. Use a little Dawn in there, a little dish soap, scrub it all down, and refill it with water, and throw Cupcake and the algae eater in there. Now Cupcake's got a nice spick and span tank. The algae eater's in there, but he's not really much of a friend because he just kind of hides and sticks to the side there. It's time to go get more fish, more friends for Cupcake. So they go get a couple more little guppies for Cupcake, and you kind of see where I'm going here. People get the Bettas thinking they're going to be an easy fish. They can keep them in a small tank without a heater and a filter. And Bettas need filtration, especially with new fish keepers, to keep their water clean. The new fish keepers, the only time they changed the water was when it turned real bad, nasty, and white, and cloudy, and dirty, and all that, and they dumped all the water out and scrubbed everything down with dish soap. And they were putting too many fish in a 1-gallon tank because Cupcake needed friends. Cupcake's personality wasn't the type of personality that Cupcake wanted friends. So most beginner fish keepers want multiple fish. They assign their own emotions to their fish, and when Cupcake looks at them, Cupcake's hungry or Cupcake's lonely. So Cupcake wants food 15 times a day. Cupcake wants friends. So it would be better for a beginner to start off with a larger tank, say a 20-gallon tank, and not start off with a fish like a beta that will more than likely already be kept in a small cup in less than good water conditions, potentially already ill, and have all the bad myths out there, have the bad rep out there of it can live in a mud puddle, it doesn't need a heater and a filter, that it's an easy fish, it's a good beginner fish. What happens to the fish keeper after they've lost 10 fish when Cupcake gets sick from the dish soap? When they've put a lot of this money into this 1-gallon tank and they can't get nothing to live in it, they're just not cut out to be a fish hobbyist, right? They give up. They put their 1-gallon tank in the gravel and the little plastic plant and the SpongeBob figure and the little cave that they had in there. They put that on Facebook for $75, maybe $80, because they're done. They can't keep fish. Everything they put in there dies. The water parameters were killing it, and Cupcake was killing it, but they didn't know that. If they had started with a 20-gallon tank, it would have been more water volume to be more forgiving, because any pollutants would be diluted. If they had started with a filter and a heater, a larger variety of fish could be kept in there. There would have been more room for the guppies or mollies or whatever to get out of the way of a somewhat aggressive fish. If they had stayed away from the beta altogether, the aggression of Cupcake wouldn't have been an issue on those mollies and guppies and neons and such. In my opinion, the best beginner fish for a fish keeper is a platy. Platies come in a variety of colors: reds, yellows, oranges, blues, patterns that have little Mickey Mouse looking shapes, long fins, short fins, the lyre tails, all that type of stuff. Platies come in a variety of colors, finnage, you name it, platies have it. Platies are really hardy in that they can take cooler water and they can take warmer water. They're great community fish that they can't, that they usually don't have the aggression to kill off their neighbor like Cupcake was doing. There are, not that this is really something we should be looking for, but usually beginners aren't. They're looking to cut corners and not spend a whole lot of money. Platies are a little less expensive than a $15 fish, a $20 fish. Usually platies are in the $1 to $2 range. You can get some more expensive ones, but platies are a decent price there. Platies are very forgiving, can take some cooler water, get along with a lot of different community fish, don't show the aggression that some others do, like the betas. Can be housed awesomely in a 20-gallon tank. A 20 gallons a perfect size for a beginner, that you can have a few different fish in there. You could plant it, have substrate, nice heater, hang on the back filter, some decorations, some novelty decorations if you're into that type of thing. And when Cupcake got lonely and needed a girlfriend because he needed to start a family, that didn't go so well either. With platies, they're live bearers. You can experience the enjoyment of breeding your platy and having fry. So, to me, this is why betas are killing our hobby, because they're being introduced as the perfect beginner fish. And then the beginner fish keeper is being told all these bad half-truths, myths, or straight up lies about the care of a beta, not getting the education that they need on how to keep a beta, or other fish for that matter, and are experiencing small failures in high numbers in the first part of their hobby, and they're dropping out. And I have come across a large number of people that have had that same experience, that they say, I killed every fish that I tried, I just can't do it. And they don't go back to fish keeping. And that's killing your hobby. So what's your thoughts? Leave your thoughts on this down in the comments. Let me know. Is there a different fish that you think is killing the hobby, or something else that would be killing the hobby, that make people get out of the hobby real quick? Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. What do you think about this topic? And subscribe and hit the notification bell if you'd like to see more. I'll see you later.